Hey everybody, Josh Vasquez here. Just wanted to let you know that tomorrow, October the 27th, I will be doing a signing at Shavers, the book place right here behind me. I'm going to be hanging out with some other authors there, and so if you're into ghosts and supernatural and of course zombies, stop on by. It's going to be from 3 to 5, and yeah, hopefully see you there. Yesterday, I'm talking to my cousin, and he is in the process of trying to write his first book as well. And he's just kind of asking me these questions, got me thinking about 4 years ago, well, I guess 5 years ago when I actually started writing it. What are some things that I wish I had known about self-publishing or publishing as a whole, or just writing a book as a whole? And so I decided to make this video, and I'm gonna let you know top 5 things. Hopefully I'll see you at Shavers tomorrow. All right, so just recorded this video, and it was about 15 minutes long without editing, and I had no sound, so here I am doing that video again. So I'm all cleaned up, and I'm well rehearsed, so let's get to it. Flip open this green notebook. All right, so one thing I forgot to mention earlier was the address for Shavers, so you can make sure you're there from anywhere in between 3 to 5 tomorrow, October the 27th. You're gonna need that address. You're gonna need to know where it's at. So the address is 326 Bull Street, Savannah, Georgia, 31401. I'll put that somewhere, anywhere on the screen, maybe in the description, somewhere down there. You'll find it. Anyways, the other authors that will be there, I'm pretty excited about it. I don't know. I honestly actually don't even know if they know I'm coming, because last time I talked to Shavers, they were like, yeah, we emailed them and we never heard back from them. So yeah, sure, go ahead, come on in on Friday, and we'll have you join them. So I hope you guys are cool with it. I'll see you tomorrow. If you're not, which is going to be awkward. So, but I'm looking forward to it because it sounds like some pretty cool stuff, some supernatural, paranormal things going on in Savannah. Getting into the 5 things, which is actually, I'm going to make it 6 things now, because in the previous video I added a 4.5, but we're just gonna make it a 6 thing video. I know I said 5 earlier, but guess what? You're getting a bonus thing, because that's what happens when you record your video twice. Number 1, thing that I wish I would have known at the beginning or would have done differently is I wish I would have taken it a little slower at the beginning. I got real excited. I was like, I got this book. I'm going to put it on the Kindle. It's going to be awesome. It was awesome, but I wish I would have thought things through just a little bit more. Just as far as like, okay, like, Joshua, slow down. What are you going to do with this book? Or what is going to happen with this book after you put it on the Kindle? It's okay. Like, are you going to write more books? Like, by the time I had finished the manuscript for the first one, I knew there was going to be a second one. I knew this kind of leading into this more. There was more story to be told. But I was just so excited. I was so excited. I don't know what to do with it. So I just threw it out into the world. I threw it out into the world of Amazon, onto the Kindle, and just kind of, the snowball just grew and just kind of avalanche. So yeah, I wish I would have taken it a little bit slower starting out. Number 2, kind of going into the same vein, a lot of this stuff I've noticed has kind of just been like related, but number 2 is I would have launched the books a little bit differently. When I launched the first one, I launched it e-reader only. Originally, I think it was just on the Kindle. No, it was on the Kindle and it was on the Nook. Yeah, because I had this, I made this magnet for my my truck, and basically it was just like it was lame, but I thought it was cool at the time because it was like, yeah, look at my book. I would be driving around, people would be like, oh yeah, but you really couldn't read it because the font was like super small. So I would have launched the books a little bit differently. I probably would have done print and ebook at the same time, but when I launched A New Death, print was not even in my mind, because I was like, that's not even something you can do what it is. And so I started having to kind of catch up. New Darkness, I released the ebook before I released the print version, but it was a little bit closer, just because I knew I was going to do it. But knowing what I know now, I most likely would have liked to do both at the same time. So if you're waiting for the 3rd book, if you're waiting for a new Daybreak, just note that you're going to have to wait for the ebook and the print book to be done, because that's how I plan on doing it. So That's number 2. Number 3 is, and this one it's still kind of debatable. I'm still up in the air about, and I apologize for the shakiness. I left the tripod down in the car, so I'm actually filming this from on top of my lunchbox because that's how I roll. And so back to number 3. Debatable. I would have liked to have finished the trilogy before I published them. And like I said, I'm still kind of up in the air about that. And the reason that is, and it's completely from a publisher, from a marketing perspective, not so much an artist or a writer's perspective. Basically, like, just how do I sell these things? I feel like people are more apt to buy a series that is they're able to finish as opposed to one that they have to start and then wait for the author to churn out the books. I think the biggest example of that is, the Game of Thrones series. People are still waiting for that next book and are probably going to still be waiting for that next book. It always makes me feel better that, hey, at least you're not waiting that long, but still I've taken way too long to get this thing out of here. So yeah, that's just completely from trying to sell my books and publisher mentality. It would have been nice, but yeah, just one of those things that I know now that I wish I kind of would have known then or thought about, which goes back to number 1 and just slowing down and, hey, thinking about this just a little bit more than, I got a book. Number four is I wouldn't have wasted time on the Barnes & Noble Nook and the Kobo, which most of the time when I say Kobo, people are like, what the heck is a Kobo? And basically it was a cheaper kind of e-reader and it has its own ecosystem. The only reason I really got into it because I was listening to the guys on the self-publishing podcast. They're like, dude, this is the next big thing. And maybe it is, I don't know, but it's just not for me. Whenever I mention Kobo, people are like, what? Anyways, I just wouldn't have wasted time on those other e-readers. Of course, back when I launched this, the Kindle was, kind of the forerunner and the leader of the pack, but nobody really knew that it was going to be the only one that really lasts. There's iBooks, people are going to have their iPhones and their iPads, and they're going to read on those. But when it comes to the e-reader, and it comes to, I think, ebooks, Kindle's king. Different formatting, a different file, just having to upload it to a different ecosystem and just trying to get it out there. It's just time I could have been spending on thing number 5, which was formerly 4.5, but I'm making it number 5. I would have spent more time on the print books. I did not take advantage of these, looking back on it. As much as I should have, because the ebooks are great for getting them out there on the internet and through social media because they're electronic books, and that makes sense. But the print books, which they're just great for doing like local things, like local signings. Like I did the Savannah Quill Convention a couple weekends ago, and I sold a few books there, and not crazy numbers. Each person that I sold a book to is like, I kind of like, we got to talk to them and meet them a little bit, and there's like this little bit of a relationship made with the author reader, which was the whole point of the Savannah Quill, which was very cool, just kind of putting authors and readers together. I wish I would have put a little bit more time into kind of marketing these the print versions, trying to get them out there a little bit more through, I guess, local events and stuff. So that brings us to number 6, formerly number 5, and I would have treated this like a job, more like a job. I really tried to not treat it like a hobby and treat it like something I'm actually doing, but it just didn't start out that way. And I think slowed down a little bit in the beginning and just tried to think about, what am I going to do with this? Like, is this going to be something that I want to do? I really do want to write full time. I just can't because, I have to provide for my family and, pay bills, keep the lights on. If I had started off with the mentality of like, you can do this, not only is it possible to publish your book, but it's also possible to make a living on this. That would have been something nice to just know at the beginning. When I started this, I had this manuscript that I've basically cobbled together over just this large amount of time. I just wanted to get it out there. I had no idea of what journey I would be on as far as an author and writer and self-publisher. Just thinking back on these past 4-5 years, I guess, since you consider the time I really started writing it, how cool it's been just to kind of see how this thing grows. And here I am trying to write that third book and finish out the series. And it's been very cool, just kind of retrospective. Like, October really snuck up on me. Like, I knew it was coming and I knew it was here because I've been getting ready for Halloween with my 2-year-old. She's going as Princess Leia and I'm going to be Darth Vader, a very casual Darth Vader. I wear a t-shirt instead of the whole get up. So October is the month that I launched A New Death because it is Halloween that month and it's, you know, spooky and everything is very horror-based in October. I'm glad I've been able to connect with the readers that I have connected with, and it's been very cool. So if there's anything that, if you're an author and there's something that you thought that, like, hey, maybe you would have done differently when you had started, or maybe if you're a reader, what's something that you would have liked authors to know, like when they started writing their books or started publishing their books. So I hope I see you guys tomorrow from anywhere between 3 to 5 at 326 Bull Street, and that's it. And hopefully there's sound in this video. If there's not sound, I'm not doing this again. I swear I'm not doing this again. So yeah, bye. Okay, so true story. I'm over here recording in this corner of this giant square, as you can see. So many empty seats, so many empty seats. And then a guy comes up and sits in one of the benches right behind me and starts eating his lunch and reading a book. Like, I get this as a public space, but I mean, out of all the benches you chose the one right behind me. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I had to add that because I felt like things got a little awkward there for a minute. And yeah, they kind of did. So anyways.